You know it's a Big Red Monday. We're putting the big into Big Red, right? Big Red Monday.
Oh, boy.
When Brock Huard steps into studio. All of a sudden, I'm on the edge of my seat. We got a Seahawk in studio right now. And Brock, don't even come in here and blaspheme. Don't even come in here and tell us, oh, the Seahawks got it all figured out. Did anybody see the end of yesterday's game? We did, because the Cardinals have the Rams next. And, man, did you guys screw that up in Seattle?
Yes, they did, Paul. Yes, they did.
Yes.
My wife looked at me last night. I'm down here in the Valley because my girls are playing tonight.
Okay.
Big Montana Grizz versus Grand Canyon University hoops game. Can't wait. Can't
Double
wait.
ding.
Yep, can't wait. And my wife looked at me last night after the Seahawks game. She's like, you still get this mad? Like all these years later, you're still like in a bad mood. You're angry. You're hangry. You're just mad. Can you just let it go? And I'm like, I'm sorry. Okay, the Ravens game got stomped on. The Bengals, fine. There's games you're going to lose.
Yes.
This is the NFL.
Yes.
That's not a good Rams team. And you're up 13-0 in total control, and then you get penalized 13 times for 130 freaking yards.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Where's
brutal.
the discipline from Coach Double Rainbow's team? What's
right.
going on?
That's exactly right. And then you get a game management where it's like, okay, you just did the hard work. You're at the 30, 40 yard, like you've done the hard work on a 3rd and 8. DK makes a great play. Gino's going to have another game-winning drive. Just go finish it. Go get another 5 or 10. And then they run the ball and don't spike it and don't give themselves a chance. And we just finished with Coach Carroll on Mondays, your sister station up in Seattle. We have him on the show every Monday. And he's like, no, that was the plan. And Gino tried to say the call didn't come in his headset, this and that and the other. No, we're going to run it. And we should have popped it. And we screwed it up front. And they screwed it up because that was a game they needed. They needed to get to 7-3 before San Fran, Philly, Dallas, San Fran in a brutal gauntlet.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you this quickly right now while I have you on here, of course, the NFC West and some of the NFC West talkings that we're doing right now. Think about this. The Rams, when you saw their defense, what did you think of their defense when you watched?
Well, Aaron Donald still picks and chooses when he wants to be the best player in the world.
Yes.
So he hates the Seahawks, and I don't think he likes Pete, and he likes laughing at him and rubbing it in, and he had 4 plays that were just game changers. He wrecked Gino's elbow or ended up being his triceps and knocked him out of the game for 3 series.
That was like a cartoon. He came up the middle and the ball just popped straight into the air.
I mean, the force of that dude when he hits.
I know.
It's not human.
Man.
Wolf, I know. Your forehead loved to run into people, right? You loved to back in your day.
I put it on you.
Could you put it on Aaron Donald? You and Aaron Donald in the A-gap?
I'd put it on him. He'd kill me. But I'd put it on him. That much I promise you.
You might have gone like the football. You might have ricocheted up 10 yards in the air, but you'd have tried. You'd have given it to him.
I would have got off the ground and did it again.
Yeah.
Wolf is the try-hard guy. He actually tried Richard Dent in a fight and lost miserably. But he tried.
I did.
He tried.
I just couldn't get my second hand on his face mask. If I could have hung in there.
They're still proud. Aaron's still a good player. They still have a piece at each level, but they're not the dominant. They're not Leonard Floyd and Aaron Donald, just game wreckers. And that was also problematic. Like, that's a game you have to have. You gave it away in the opener. Pete blamed emotion. They were out of it. They emptied the tank at half and had nothing. That's a game, man, that you just circle and you look back. We will at the end of the year and go, that's a bummer.
Did they come after Gino often? Did they come after him? Would you say
pick and choose their spots? They kind of pick and choose, their spots. And Raheem on that other side is, he plays kind of that shell coverage. I know you're asking because you got Arizona playing them this week, and I know the drill. I do radio. I get it. Give us something to talk about for this upcoming matchup.
This is great.
Yeah.
I mean, Wolf, we're hosting a show and you're doing prep for the game.
Hey, listen, I respect his opinion greatly.
It's just, okay, here's my question.
Yeah.
Geno Smith, isn't he really, truly on a glorified 1-year deal?
Yes.
What is the long-term play at quarterback for the Seahawks?
Yeah, that's a good question, Paul. And that's when the deal came out and you saw the raw numbers, like $90 million guaranteed. You're like, I don't know if I love that. That's a lot of
exactly.
That's a lot of commitment. But then you actually look at the way it's structured, and it was a home run for the Seahawks. Because the market, the market is what the market's willing to pay. If someone was going to give him $100 million guaranteed, he would have gone and gotten $100 million guaranteed, but it didn't. And because of it, every league year they got to make a decision, and some of it's his play too. If he plays better than last year, numbers-wise, that thing escalates, and he goes from 30 to 35 million, and they got to make that decision. But they gave themselves enough of an out that if the things go off the rails, and all of a sudden in a draft class, and I'm going to guess, I'll talk to you boys, And we'll see how Kyler plays. Kyler's going to prove it every single week. You guys, I'm sure, grading him every week, evaluating every week. Where is he? With a new head coach and everything, new GM, like, is this our guy or not? Very much the same still, I think, with Geno. That it's going to be a week-to-week, season-to-season evaluation. And doing college football, as I do on the road every year, I have never seen a draft class, QB-wise, like this April.
Wow.
It is a Baskin-Robbins of anything you want. Really.
Okay.
You want elite freak show dual threat, Lamar Jackson-esque and Jaden Daniels? I mean, that guy can flat out play. Do you want Caleb Williams, Mahomes-esque? Do you want a couple pocket passers? And we'll see if J.J. McCarthy of Michigan comes out. The kid at
Drake May.
Drake May at North
Drew
Carolina.
Stan came on and told us Drake May is like Carson Palmer with more athleticism.
Got a lot of it. There's a lot of people that love him. Our guy up in the Northwest, Michael Penix, that spins a football.
Yeah.
Unlike most guys with 11-inch hands, Bo Nix, who's putting up numbers that are just unheard of and unseen. Like, we'll talk. Both of us will talk. If Geno's not the answer and Kyler's not the answer, this QB class got a lot of answers.
Interesting right there. Okay, I want to talk to you about Kyler Murray momentarily here, but let me just ask you about Brock Purdy and what you're saying. What is going on? I mean, Brock Purdy,
It's unbelievable.
where did this come from?
He had a perfect passer rating yesterday. First time since Joe Montana in '89.
I believe he's number one in pass efficiency, number one in QBR. We just, again, not to like reference Pete Carroll, this and that and everything, even though I know you love him, Paul. Salk just asked him, like, literally, how's this happen in the NFL? You guys spend hundreds of millions of dollars, tens of thousands of man hours. Every one of these teams has got more scouts and more executives and more eyes, more meetings than ever before.
Yes.
And this guy goes last in the draft. He's Mr. Irrelevant.
Dead last.
He's Mr. Irrelevant. And Trey Lance goes third, and he's booted out of San Francisco. How's that happen? And his answer, I think, is a pretty good one because you can't measure intangibles.
Okay.
Can't measure intangibles.
You can't do that. Kyler Murray, what you're seeing from Kyler Murray.
Yep. I think if I'm in your guys' seat, the biggest thing I'm watching is what I've talked about and gotten myself in trouble on these very airwaves years ago. It is about his leadership. It's about his body language, and it's about being a leader of men. We were just talking off the air about, Coach Carroll. We were talking about your skipper in Arizona with the Diamondbacks. You know it. When you're a leader of men, you feel those guys. You sense it. Carson Palmer was a leader of men. Bruce Arians, in different ways, was a leader and commanded in different ways as a leader of men. And that is my thing for Kyler. Like you're not paid to just, run around and make great plays. And you're paid as a franchise QB to be the leader in the face of our organization. Mm-hmm. And it's hard. And as Coach Carroll, that's the fifth time, I'm sorry, drinking game. Every time I say, take a sip of water.
Is Coach Double Rainbow, by the way, before you interview him every Monday, does he warm up his throwing arm like he does before the games?
No,
he's
he
older than Bill Belichick, and he's warming up the throwing arm. Like, why?
But he made another astute point, and you're seeing it with Kyler, and you're seeing it with Trey Lance, and you're seeing it with so many guys. The weight of expectations buries guys. And look at little Sam Howell running around making plays.
Oh, boy.
Look at little Brock Purdy running around making plays. Look at 20 years ago, some skinny, frail guy out of Michigan who just was a leader of men and willed as a 6th-round pick himself to be the greatest of all time. That sometimes there is the blessings and curses. The blessing of being a top 10 pick is generational money.
Yeah.
The curse is expectation. The blessing of being Mr. Irrelevant is there's no expectation, right? And the curse is no money up front. But he keeps playing like this, there will be plenty.
You know what, Brock? We need to have you come in here and drive the show next week.
No.
Okay? I mean, honestly, Brock.
That's good. I'll just sit on the sideline and take pot shots at the Seahawks. Yes. That's good. Let him drive it.
We'll let Paul go in the wedge. We'll put him in the blue wedge right there.
Man,
and
you guys
drive
got a World Series appearance. How fun was that? Do you know the Mariners have never been to a World Series?
All I know is we went to Seattle, won the turnover battle 3-0, and somehow lost the game earlier. We owe the 12s. That's what I'm telling you right now. Okay, Brock, thank you.
Brock, thank you, boys.
Thanks, buddy.
There you go.